Yep.
Who is the coach with the most to prove this month? Not just NCAA tournament. It could be Big East tournament, conference tournaments as well.
Matt Painter. And there's no question about it. He has an extremely talented team. He has a terrific 1-2 punch in his front line with Zach Edey and Travion Williams. He has an NBA draft lottery pick in Jaden Ivey. If the Purdue Boilermakers have an early X in the NCAA tournament, that would be really, really brutal, because this team is too talented, in my opinion, to have that early exit. And I think that could happen. So here's the thing. Matt Painter is one of the most well-liked coaches in the sport of college basketball. He's a great guy. He's a great offensive schemer. He's as good of an offensive design man in the sport as you're going to find. That being said, this is a team that's capable of making a deep run. A team also that was exposed at times as Big Ten play went on. So, for the Purdue Boilermakers, who didn't come out on top in the Big Ten, this is a time for them to package it together in the Big Ten tournament, the NCAA tournament. You can't fall flat. So that's why my vote is Paint, because I think he does have a lot to prove in this month.
I'm going to go. I have two that I'm really intrigued to see. One's in the Big East, one's in the SEC. The SEC, Eric Musselman. Reason being, are they going to be able to win these massive games away from home? If you look at their record, and if you look at their home game or their away games, lost at Tennessee, won at Florida, it's okay. Lost at Alabama, and then all their major wins are at home, guys. They won at LSU. That's the one I'll give them credit for. I think moving forward, if Arkansas is going to be as good as what a lot of people think they are, they're going to have to win away from home. That neutral site setting, which is basically Kentucky light. I don't know if you guys ever been to the SEC tournament, but like it turns into the Kentucky Invitational. It's going to be interesting to see Arkansas. I'm anxious to see how their team reacts. The other one, Xavier guys and Travis Steele, that team, what are they, 7-13, 7-12, and they're like they started out great. Everybody was excited. They had the Nunji, they had Fremantle, they had Paul Scruggs, who's like all gas, no brakes, and they've fallen flat to the tune of 8th in the Big East. Well, are we nervous? Are we as good as advertised? Because at the beginning of the season, we looked really, really good. Now they're falling off the map a little bit. You have to win over Butler, possible. Then you play a Providence team that you match up pretty well with. And it's going to be interesting to see. That game is going to be huge. Is Xavier 2? I don't know the bubble situation, guys. I just know that I was really excited about Xavier at the beginning of the season. And now I don't know what the issue is right now. I know they're struggling. And they were really excited to watch the beginning of the season. So Musselman and Travis Steele.
The bottom line for Xavier is they cannot lose to Butler. They cannot do it. You stole mine though, Fanta, with the Matt Painter call.
Wow.
Yeah, you saw that was intuitive. They say great minds think alike. So I don't know what's going on with yours, because I definitively do not have a great mind. So you know who I'm going to go with, guys? I'm going to go with Penny Hardaway. I think that Memphis, when you line them up, I was listening to After Dark last night when Arch was on, and he was saying if you line up Memphis against anybody that they're going to end up playing in the AAC tournament, in the first round of the NCAA tournament, how many times are you going to say, okay, point guard to point guard, who has the better player? Shooting guard to shooting guard, who has the better player? And you line them up like that. How many teams is Memphis not going to have the advantage at most of the positions, at most of the spots on the floor? Right?
Not many.
This is the year. They've been a different team since they lost to Monty Bates, right? I think they've now won 10 of their last 11 games. They've swept Houston. And I know Houston is not what they were before they had the injuries, but they've swept Houston. So are you going to be able to get it done? Are you going to make sure that you get a bid to the tournament if you're Penny Hardaway? If you get to the tournament, are you going to go out there and have at least a chance to win a game? You're probably going to end up getting a 6 seed, maybe a 5 seed, depending on the way things shake out. I think that he's got something to prove, because he had something to prove. Like, he came into this season with something to prove. So